Ever wonder what the rest of Italy looks like outside of Rome? Look no further because I've got the top 10 places to see in southern Italy, and boy, it's a good one. There's most certainly a distinct difference between some of these locations and the ones that were listed in my Northern Italy top 10 list, which I'll put a link in the description below. But this is only to encourage you to split the time between north and south to get a good feel for the cultures. Before I get into it though, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can catch more top 10 lists and other amazing videos that my channel has to offer. Now let's start this list off. Number 1 is Siena. This charming city is located in the Tuscany region and it's as medieval as it gets. Everything revolves around its historic city center that is now declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is of no surprise because Siena is the location of one of the oldest banks in continuous operation dating back to 1472 and one of the oldest operating universities going back as far as 1240. Easily a great spot for those history buffs. However, the famous Piazza del Campo is the spot for those people watchers. A lovely square where everything happens, including a renowned race between 10 horses that happens twice a year. Tourists enjoy the cuisine, art, and museums that fan out from the square, all while in the shadow of the Great Mangia Tower, standing at a crisp 102 meters tall. This beauty of a location is quintessential Italy. Coming in at number 2 is Perugia. The capital of the Umbria region, this city is located only 164 kilometers north of Rome and even closer to Florence, so very much accessible as a day trip or longer coming from either direction. Recently, the city has been considered a university town with several universities and colleges totaling over 40,000 students. One very unique feature about Perugia is that it still has an intact aqueduct slithering through the historic city center. In ancient times, this aqueduct would transfer fresh water throughout the city. However, now you can actually walk the whole thing and take in the architecture from above the buildings. For sure something that you don't see anywhere else. Also, you can easily hop off at the November 4th Square, which houses a great fountain, the most impressive architecture in the city, and is a great place to start your travels down the Corso Pietro Venucci, a lovely street with shopping and everything else. Number 3 is Rome. With being the country and the Lazio region capital, what list would be complete without this epic city on it? Home to some of the most famous landmarks in the world, including the Vatican City, which is in itself many tourists' only reason for visiting and quite seriously boasts the most amazing views in the city, along with museums and the massive St. Peter's Basilica. The architecture here will keep your head turning around every corner. The Roman Colosseum being front and center in that regard, where you will be overshadowed by this ancient structure both inside and out. The Roman Forum for its staggering ruins complex that you can walk at your own pace, and of course the massive Pantheon buried deep within the winding narrow streets. Don't forget that walking in Rome is not as daunting as you think. You can easily navigate the city within a day and hit all of those places, plus the Trevi Fountain, Piazza Navona, Castel San Angelo, and of course the Spanish Steps located at the Piazza di Spagna, complete with high-end shopping, a fountain, and loads of things to see. All this makes Rome the best place to start in Italy. Number 4 is Naples, home, in my personal opinion, to the best pizza in the world, and capital of the Campania region. Naples is a traveler's dream. Italy's third largest city sits on the Gulf of Naples and is a day trip away from loads of amazing places, including a few yet to be mentioned on this list. I only have great things to say about my visit here, including seeing Piazza del Plebiscito, which is a great starting point for all your historic city center travels. The massive Mount Vesuvius looms in the background over the city, and excursions to the ill-fated Pompeii are always on the itinerary when visiting here. Naples offers an amazing view from Castel St. Elmo with a perfect picture of the volcano, harbor, and even the island of Capri off in the distance. However, without a doubt, the absolute best part of the city was the Spanish Quarter. Narrow streets loaded with restaurants, cafes, and bars. If you can only see one thing in Naples, please make it this. Number 5 is the beautiful island of Capri. Just off the coast of Naples, also in the Campania region, it's easily accessed from many locations. This place is truly a photographer's dream, with the rugged island offering some of the best views in the country. Don't believe me? Just see the upscale shopping and hotels, and you'll realize that everyone loves this place. The most intriguing part of the island is all of the natural coves, beaches, and rocks that jut in and out of the crystal blue water, which is clearly the best part of the island because the water surrounding it is littered with expensive yachts, big and small. It definitely seems like the thing to do during the day, and who can blame you with everything looking like a true postcard. I don't think I could visit here without chartering some sort of boat, even if all I could afford is a small skiff. Either way, my days would be consumed on the water. Coming in at number 6 is the Amalfi Coast. Literally just next door to Capri, also in the Campania region, this area is internationally known as one of the best places to visit in Italy. Take your pick of what town to visit or try and hit them all because this 50-kilometer stretch is home to roughly 13 villages, all precariously hanging over the water. Some of the more well-known ones like Positano, taking charge with its narrow streets, boutiques, cafes in Pebble Beach, Amalfi, and Ravello will easily convince you to book a room and stay a while. A lot of these villages look pretty similar with their beachfronts, narrow streets, and pastel-colored buildings, but there's no doubt each offer their own flavor of Italian hospitality. Number 7 is Bari. Jumping over to the east side of Italy, we come to the Apulia region's capital and a beautiful port city on the Adriatic Sea. Like most Italian cities, Bari has a unique historic city center with many great attractions scattered throughout. Just be sure to keep your bearings straight. The narrow cobbled streets twist and wind like a maze where you can easily find yourself lost. Though it may not be a bad thing because you may just wind up at one of the many cafes or restaurants that dot the city and find yourself enjoying an afternoon. Take some time to visit some of the notable attractions within the Bari Vecchia or Old Town, like the Basilica of St. Nicholas, Bari Castle, and the Church of San Sabino. However, don't forget to head to the water. Remember, Bari is rich in maritime history and you are meant to enjoy it as much as possible. The city's promenade that stretches 1,000 meters along the water's edge will steal the evenings away, especially with the assortment of food and drink that are all so conveniently located right next to it. Likely a good idea to leave the car at the hotel for this one. Number 8 on this list is Cagliari. Heading out into the Mediterranean Sea, you'll find the second largest island of Sardinia, and on it you'll find its capital, Cagliari. Known for its hilltop castello and 13th century cathedral, Duomo di Cagliari, you'll find nothing but great architecture, amazing food, and a laid-back atmosphere. The city's sheltered port gave it maritime importance throughout history and has kept up tradition with being one of the most important ports in the Mediterranean. It's best to enjoy the panoramic views of the city and also the beautiful beaches that are a stone's throw away from the hustle and bustle. Far be it from me to keep you away from a beach when you're literally on an island. Number 9 is Palermo. Moving down to Sicily, the other massive Italian island, you'll find the capital of Palermo. This Mediterranean gem is the region's cultural, economic, and tourism hub, but most importantly, is the place to be for gastronomy. And for those that don't know, that means food, and lots of it. And in my opinion, food is the most important aspect of traveling, especially when trying local restaurants and delicacies. Aside from eating and wandering down by the water, set aside plenty of time for places like Quattro Canti, an intersection like no other, the Palermo Cathedral with its imposing architecture, or the Fontana Pretoria with its ornate sculptures. From royal palaces to deathly catacombs, Palermo would be an amazing addition to any Italian itinerary. And finally, rounding out the list at number 10 is Catania. Also on the island of Sicily, but on the eastern side facing the Ionian Sea, Catania is an ancient port city. Without question, you can't miss the massive mountain overshadowing the city, or should I say volcano, and an active one at that. You might have heard of Mount Etna, Europe's tallest active volcano, standing at 3,329 meters tall. This monster nearly wiped out the city in 1669. However, now you can climb to the summit and take in the entire city with some fantastic vistas. If you're looking for a taste of the city, look no further than the Piazza del Duomo, home to some amazing architecture, the Elephant Fountain, and the Catania Cathedral. Several cafes, bars, and restaurants are scattered all around the square, so worry not as your quest for Italian cuisine is over. Or maybe not. Either way, it's a great starting point for tourists and offers close walking distances to many other attractions. Okay, so that completes the Southern Italy top 10 places to see and has completely rearranged my personal Italian travel list once again. Please feel free to let me know in the comments what places you think were left off my list, and maybe I'll do an honorable mention video in the future. Italy is a huge country and almost impossible to travel everywhere. However, I hope this list, along with my top 10 best places in Northern Italy, which I'll link on screen and in the description, will narrow down where to start for some of you. Thanks again for watching.